So enjoy your hot July. And there's that. Now, on to the really fun part. Let me introduce our guest speaker tonight, Ellen Potts. A native of Huntsville, Ellen Woodward Potts earned a bachelor's degree in finance from Birmingham Southern College and a Master of Business Administration from the University of South Alabama. She began her volunteer work with Habitat for Humanity in 1997 upon moving to Tuscaloosa, and resigned as secretary of the board in March 2013 to become interim executive director. By July 2013, the position had become permanent. She is in her second term as board president of the Alabama Association of Habitat Affiliates. At First Presbyterian Church, she is both an elder and a choir member. Ellen has been married to neurologist Dr. Daniel Potts for 32 years. They have two daughters, Julie, a second-year law student who received her undergraduate degree in chemistry from Birmingham Southern. There are a lot of brains in this family. And Maria, a junior psychology major at Birmingham Southern. Both daughters attended Tuscaloosa City Schools, K through 12. Rounding out the family is their 14-year-old miniature dachshund, Heidi. So without further ado, let's all welcome Dr. Ellen Potts.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love the honorary doctorate, but I only have a master's degree. So
I realized when I came into my mouth.
But I'll probably look around for my husband. So I'm going to apologize in advance. As you heard, I have a dachshund of mature years here at the house with me. She's in the other room, but she tends to hack and cough, and she has allergies. So if you hear this hacking going on, just ignore it, and I apologize for Heidi. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Habitat for Humanity. Some of these things are similar to Habitat affiliates around the country. Some of these things are unique to Habitat Tuscaloosa. And we have right now some very, very exciting things that are going on that we think are going to transform Tuscaloosa and many things about our community, especially those people who may need a hand up and not a hand out. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen now. Let's see if it works. Share screen.
While she's doing that, let me remind you that you might want to put yourself on speaker view and also to mute your mic.
Oh, wait, stop share. Okay, sorry, hold on just a second. I'm not very technically advanced. So, okay, wait, there it goes. Look, and I clicked play and it worked. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Operation Transformation, which is what we call our new program, which has a lot of things that we normally do with Habitat, but has a lot of new things. So just to give you a little bit of an update, prior to the storm, prior to the April 27th, 2011 tornado, we built 47 homes from 87 until 2011. So that if you're the math major type, that tells us that we built 1 or 2 houses a year. We were a tiny Habitat affiliate. And actually we were struggling to survive when the tornado hit. But when the tornado hit, many horrible things happened because of that storm. But some good things happened. And one of them was that our Habitat affiliate was revitalized. Since the storm, we've built 87 new homes, 34 of which are on Juanita Drive. 50 of those 87 are in the tornado zone. We've built a couple in Northport and then the rest of them in West End. But if you think, gosh, wonder if Habitat homeowners take care of their homes. I wonder if what kind of houses Habitat affiliates build. I wonder, what a Habitat neighborhood would look like. Then just drive down Juanita Drive. To get there, you go into Alberta on University Boulevard, and right after the school and right before the Shell station, turn left. And all of the silver roofed houses except one way in the back is ours. And even that silver roofed house, it was two of our construction guys built it as contractors. So basically all of the homes that have silver roofs are ours except Billy Fields, if you know Billy. And so you can see that the homeowners really keep up their homes. They're very proud of their homes. The crime rate on Juanita Drive, I think it was like 9% of all of the crime in Tuscaloosa happened in and around Juanita Drive prior to the tornado. And now you can, if you drive by when school is out, on a Saturday or the afternoon or during the summer, there are kids playing outside, they're playing basketball. All of our homes have beautiful front porches that fosters community. And what we discover is that if you spend time on your front porch, you see what goes on in your community. I spend time on my back porch. I don't see my neighbors. I'm all kind of, hovered back there. But if I were on my front porch, I'd see my neighbors. I would know when people perhaps were not supposed to be in my neighborhood or were doing things that they ought not to be doing in my neighborhood. I would know my neighbors. I would be able to help them if they had difficulties. It just fosters community and fosters safety, quite frankly. So on Juanita Drive, home values have increased. Really, that's closer to 35% now since 2013. Because, in Tuscaloosa, home values are going up just, moment by moment. But some of our homeowners have probably $70,000, $80,000 worth of equity. And the reason they have that, number one, we are fortunate if we can find it, we can find some good down payment assistance. So $15,000 to $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. And it's a forgivable mortgage. And so if it falls off over 5 years, it's just forgiven over 5 years. So they don't have to pay that back. Then, of course, they are making payments every month, just like you or I would on our mortgage. The average 3-bedroom, 2-bath Habitat house payment is around $500 a month. That includes the escrow for the property taxes and insurance. And right now, if you were to try to rent a 3-bedroom apartment, the average rent would be over $1,300 per month. So you can see that this is a bargain, plus you're getting something for that. We do a 0 interest 30-year mortgage. And so we are the mortgage holder. Habitat is the mortgage holder. So we get to follow all of the fun federal mortgage laws. And if you want to fall asleep quickly, we can talk more about that. Maybe give me a call sometime. So we've done over 250 repairs. In 2021, we will replace about 110 roofs. And I need your help to help me find more roofs to replace, because we've got to find people who meet these qualifications. So we'll talk more about that later. But also, since the tornado, we have hosted over 26,500 volunteers from 50 states, 6 continents, and our local area. So, when people think that we've accomplished a lot, and, we have, but the only way that we have been able to accomplish all of the things that we've accomplished is because, number one, 26,500 and some odd volunteers from all over the country and all over the world, funders to fund 87 Habitat houses and 250 repairs. It's people who give gift in kind, people like our companies like GAF that just gave us enough shingles to shingle 25 houses. It is a joint effort. People who serve on our committees, people who serve on our board. we are so fortunate, and we can't accomplish anything without our partners. So here's where we started on Juanita Drive. This is a picture right after the tornado, just utter devastation. It was pretty much ground zero. And if you see the blue car over on the right-hand side, kind of toward the right-hand side in the middle, that's about where, across the street from that is about where we built our last house that we dedicated on April 27th, 2021. So our 34th and final house on Juanita Drive, 10 years after the tornado. And we didn't realize this, but until about 3 or 4 weeks before the dedication, but the family that we built for lost everything in the tornado. They lived in a trailer. If you know Crescent Ridge Road, their trailer was kind of behind where Lucky Dollar convenience store is. And they left a few minutes before the tornado hit, and they could look back and see it hitting 15th Street. So they were very fortunate to escape with their lives, and now they're Habitat homeowners. So it's a beautiful thing. This is what Juanita Drive looks like today. The home 106 Juanita Drive right there with the blue car in the driveway. That is the last home that we built for the Woolley family. They have a son who graduated a year ago from Holt High School. And then they also have a goddaughter who lives with them most of the time because her mother works nights and can't get her to school in the morning. So during the week, she lives with them. And then on the weekend, she goes home to live with her mother. So what is Operation Transformation? Operation Transformation is a program whereby Habitat home construction sites are used to train a new generation in construction trades and general construction skills. So we realized that we had a unique opportunity to do some job training while staying in our lane and building and repairing homes. So what are we going to do? We're going to build 40 Habitat homes for low to moderate income homeowners, and 85% of those homeowners are in the workforce statistically over time. Everybody talks about workforce housing. Well, we do affordable housing, but 85% of the people who we build for are in the workforce. So we also do workforce housing. As I said earlier, the average rent for a 3-bedroom apartment in Tuscaloosa is about $1,300 a month. And then the average mortgage for a 3-bedroom Habitat house is about $500 a month, including the escrow. So where are we going to build these houses? I'm trying to change my view. I don't know if y'all can see all of this, but all of the green lots are ones that we are going to purchase. This is MLK Boulevard, which is the main drag in West End. And you see MLK Junior Elementary School, and brand new, beautiful elementary school. Over to the left are 3 properties. And then you can see kind of down from that, you see the Tuscaloosa Career and Technology Academy, which is the trade school, basically for city and all the city schools and many of the county school students. You see Malt-Watley Health Center there across the street from the TCTA, and then the McDonald Hughes Community Center and the Fred campus of Shelton State. You can see there are 26 of those lots that are kind of all together, and those don't have infrastructure, so we're looking for someone to help fund that. We just finished raising the money to purchase all of these properties. We've had them under contract for nearly a year. We bought the first 5 lots earlier this year in January, the 3 at the top left-hand corner, and then where you see Carlton Park, and there are those 2 lots just to the left of where it says Carlton Park. We have purchased those 5, and so we never have stopped we never stopped building, basically. But we're going to close on the other 35 hope by the end of June. So we're excited about that. That was a mix of public and private funds. But if you can think about our homeowners, they're going to be within walking distance of a healthcare center, of a park, of a community center, of the Fred campus at Shelton State. And then, you know, the elementary school is right there. Tuscaloosa Career and Technology Academy is right there. And what we hope is that this part of town, which has challenges, will be transformed kind of like what happened on Juanita Drive. So the Tuscaloosa Career and Technology Academy they teach plumbing, electrical, and carpentry students. And so we are hoping to be able to, or we have started teaching those trades on our job sites. Many of you may know that the Sabins and their Knicks Kids donors, Roll Tide, every time we win a national championship in football, we get another house that they donate. And after the tornado, the Sabins and their Knicks Kids donors donated 13 houses, one for every national championship dating back to 1925. Remember the Rose Bowl, we'll win then, yeah. And then we kept winning national championships. And so the house that you see in these pictures, that is the 18th national championship house. It's being built for a young lady named Jocelyn. She has 2 children who are 5 and 1, and currently lives in a home. It's an old family home. It's 1 bedroom. She lives with her mother. There's no running water in the kitchen, and the ceiling in the kitchen is collapsing. The floors are collapsing. There are 4 of them living in the one house. They applied for repairs about 6 or 7 years ago, and the house is just not repairable. And so they are really looking forward to having running water in the kitchen, having, you know, separate bedrooms for the family members. And so we're excited for Jocelyn and her family. And this home that she currently lives in, just so you know, it's an owned home. It's a family home, but it's right here in Tuscaloosa. It's about a block or so from where Inspector Dornell Cousette was shot. So that should tell you a little bit about where they live. So the young people on the left, the guy on the ladder is an electrical student from TCTA. The electrical students wired the 18th National Championship House. They did all of the initial wiring May 12th through 14th. And the cool thing was that the instructor has his own electric company, and or electrical company probably. He hired 4 young people from last year's graduating class of the TCTA electrical students. And so those young people were mentoring the senior electrical students who wired this house. And so it was a really cool thing, because it was, you know, for the seniors that were wiring the house, it was like they could say, you know, you were where I was a year ago, and now you're making really good money, you know, as an electrician's assistant. And, you know, many of them are pursuing their licensed trade as an electrician. So that's what they were doing. And then the young people on the right, and there were 5 different groups of them, May 3rd through 7th. We had 5 different groups, 1 per day, of students in carpentry who helped frame the 18th National Championship House. And so you can see that we've already started. What we're beginning is we need to go on. We're going to add plumbing in the fall. We weren't able to arrange for the plumbing because it was going to be after school was out, basically. But we're excited about that. So one of the blessings of the pandemic, we were scheduled to start Operation Transformation with TCTA students beginning March 23rd. of 2020. And you know what happened. We shut down on March the 17th. The world shut down and we didn't get to start. But one of the blessings of that downtime during the pandemic was that we really had time to plan strategically and to think about other partnerships and other ways that we could stay in our lane of building and repairing houses, but also could serve more people. So out of that, we had an employee who had a friend who worked for the Dannon Project, and they set up a meeting, and we found out that this was a match made in heaven. So the Dannon Project was begun by J.J. Pruitt, who is a Fox 6 News anchor in Birmingham, and he had a brother named Dannon who was killed by a stray bullet from an ex-felon or from a guy who was out on parole. And long story short, the guy who was out on parole went back to jail. He got out of jail. He called JJ and he said, "I didn't mean to kill your brother." And he started telling JJ about the difficulties of being a felon and trying to find a job, trying to find some way to support yourself. And the Dannon Project was born out of that. That was about 22 years ago. And Dannon Project has not begun working in our community, but their lease is activated today. Yay. And they have contracted with the Tuscaloosa County Department of Corrections to do prisoner reentry. Among their participants in other communities, they normally work with young nonviolent offenders who are coming back into society. They normally begin their work 6 months prior to the person exiting the criminal justice system. Get this, here's your statistic that will make your jaw drop. Among their participants in other communities, they cut the recidivism rate from 67.8% to about 5%. Think about the lives that changes. If you are a bleeding heart liberal, you love the fact that it is changing lives and helping people. If you're a hardcore conservative budget hawk, you love the fact that you're not paying for 3 hots and a cot for people who are going back to prison in the revolving door of the criminal justice system. So this is a win for everyone. It's an exciting thing. And the cool thing about it is that 96% of their participants are still employed at 1 year in the same job that they were placed in when they exited the program. So what are we going to do? So excuse me just a second. So what we're going to do, we have basically what's going to be a 12-week program. We are going to have say 5 to 10 Dannon Project participants at a time to begin with, beginning later this summer. They are going to do everything we do with our normal volunteers. So they're going to frame a house, they're going to roof a house, they're going to sheathe a house, they're going to install windows, they're going to do floors, they're going to install cabinets, they're going to install sheetrock, they're going to paint, they're going to install trim. All of the things that we normally do with a volunteer, they are going to do. So they're also then going to be going 1 night a week to the Skilled Trades of West Alabama Jumpstart course. And they will get several nationally recognized certifications: forklift, scissor lift, OSHA 10, carpentry 1, all of those things. So when they finish their 12 weeks, they are going to be able to go straight to work for someone like Bill Trick or Brock Porter, or a home builder, a contractor, and they will be a person who already has all of the basic skills that they need to make a living in the construction industry. And by the way, the Skilled Trades of West Alabama will hold a job fair for them to place them, and everyone is in desperate need right now of construction, skilled construction people. And Skilled Trades of West Alabama also has a clear and concise way that these young people, if they wish, can continue their education at night to learn a licensed skilled trade. So we are very, very excited about that. Who doesn't want to turn a felon, a young person has made some really poor decisions in their life, who doesn't want to turn them into a plumber who owns his own business, or something like that. So we're super excited. So just so you know, people don't know necessarily who our Habitat homeowners are. Basically, the people we serve in home ownership are they make at or below the 80th percentile of area median income. What does that mean? So whatever your family size is, there is a different average area median income for your family size. So if whatever your family size is for the average income, that's 100th percentile. And then 80th percentile is 20% below that. So those are the people we serve. We check their criminal history. We check sex offender status. We need workable credit. We look at their credit. Often what we'll do is we'll deny someone's application because they have credit issues. We'll send them to the Home First classes at the University of Alabama, and they fix their credit over the next year. They come back and apply again, and all of a sudden they're qualified for Habitat home ownership. They have to do sweat equity hours. What does that mean? That means basically volunteer hours on their own Habitat home and other people's Habitat homes. So if it's a single adult like Miss Jocelyn, who is the 18th National Championship homeowner, they have to do 250 hours. And if there were 2 adults in that household, they'd have to do at least 350. They have to have the ability to pay a mortgage. So we look at, have they paid their rent over the last 2 years on time? Do they have documented income? Sometimes a problem is, what if they clean houses and they get paid cash? That can be a problem. They have to live in or work in Tuscaloosa County for at least 6 months. As I said, steady, verifiable income. And then they have to have a willingness to partner. I have rarely, as Susan said, I started working with Habitat, or volunteering with Habitat, in 1997 on the Family Selection Committee. We were only building 1 to 2 houses a year. So the fact that I stayed on Family Selection from 1997 to 2012 or 13 was not that onerous of a job. But I visited a lot of people in their homes, and very rarely, but sometimes, you will find somebody who really is not interested in working for their home. They're not interested in doing work. They're not interested in what you have to offer. They think we're a custom home builder. My name's not Price McGifford. So anyway, it's rarely, but on occasion, we will run into that, but that is so far outside the norm. Most people are so excited, like the Woolley family that was living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 4 people, like Jocelyn, who is living in a one-bedroom home that is literally falling down and has no running water in the kitchen. Most people are so excited about the opportunity to become a homeowner that they are willing to do over and above whatever it takes to make that happen. So Operation Transformation, as I said, we're teaching general construction skills to people from the Dannon Project. And then we have lots of partners. Remember, I told you that we couldn't do anything without partners. So we have the state of Alabama, the Tuscaloosa County Commission, Nick's Kids Foundation, Tuscaloosa City and County Schools, and the TCTA, Skilled Trades of West Alabama Chamber of Commerce, GAF, which used to be Elk Roofing, you may know it by that name, Mercedes, wonderful folks at Mercedes, the Builders Group, the Quarter Family, Premier Service Company, West Alabama Home Builders Association, Alabama Power Foundation, Public Supermarkets, State Farm, Holly Family Foundation, and lots of monthly givers and individuals who just believe in what we're trying to accomplish and and are joining us and helping us do this. So I shouldn't say Operation Transformation Request. Sorry, I thought that I had deleted that. We have those 40 properties currently under contract. We raised $100,000 and spent 25 of that to buy the first 5 of those 40 lots. And we're going to close on the remaining 35 before June 30th. We have 3 other lots that are in the process of being donated by Edward Hubbard. So thank you, Hubbard Properties. And we're excited, and it's appropriate that the 18th National Championship House, just seriously, I did not plan this. It just happened to be the house that we could, build after the pandemic, where we could get volunteers on the house from the TCTA. But the Sabins and their Knicks Kids donors, as I said, I mean, they funded 18 houses for us. They do so much. They give the big dollar things, the Sabin Center and all of those things, but what the rest of the community doesn't see, and what my colleagues in nonprofit work and I do see, is that when there is a family in need, when there's a low-income family whose child is killed or dies, they'll pay for the funeral. When there's a family in need, they'll pay for whatever it is that they need. They do so much that is off the radar screen. I had a newspaper editor, not from this community, one time, who was scoffing at the Sabins and how they do everything for show. And I smacked that down pretty quickly, because they do a lot, but what they do is that it raises the standard of generosity in our community. It makes it cool to support community generosity. So we're very grateful to them for that. So I promised to tell you what we need from you here. You're welcome we'd love for you to become a monthly donor. We always welcome donors. One-time givers, monthly donors, set it and forget it on your debit card or your credit card. But we need applicants for fortified roof replacement program. Now, I told you earlier that we generally serve people who are at the 80th percentile of area median income and below. This program doesn't have that stipulation. We get this grant funding from a different grant source. It's not federal funding. And so we need applicants. And we're not going to be putting on roofs at the yacht club, but for people who are middle income people, you can get up to $10,000 to help replace your roof with a fortified roof. So basically, here are the qualifications. You need to live in either Tuscaloosa or Pickens County. You need to own your home and live there as the primary residence. So in other words, we're not going to do anybody's lake house or, camp house or anything like that, unless you live there as your primary residence. And the home must be insured with a homeowner's policy, which includes high wind coverage. If you have homeowners insurance, I can pretty much tell you that you're gonna have high wind coverage in this area, unless you get, some of our low income partners have just, $300 a year kind of insurance that covers hardly anything. But mainly normal people have homeowners insurance with high wind coverage. So what do you get for that? Your roof is replaced with a fortified roof, which is much more wind, water, and weather resistant. Basically, the roof has a seal. It looks like a big, huge 3-foot wide roll of tape that goes down on the plywood decking of the roof, and that keeps water out. Even if the shingles get blown away, keeps the water out. But then also the shingles are put down with a special kind of ring shank nail that is much, much more difficult to remove. And then they also, they do nails every 4 inches instead of every 6 inches. And so it's a lot more nails that are a lot harder to remove. And you get a discount on your homeowner's insurance. And then also, excuse me, the grant covers up to $10,000 worth of roof replacement costs. So we, just to tell you, 1,975 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Northwood Lake, roof was replaced about 20 years ago. That roof is costing $13,610, but that homeowner is getting, you know, not quite $14,000 roof for $3,610. So that's a really good deal in anyone's world. Back 6 months ago, 8 months ago, we were able to replace houses up to about 2,000 square feet with this, under $10,000. Right now, the roofing materials have skyrocketed, and so it's not as good a deal as it used to be. But basically, if your house is, say, 1,200 square feet or less and has a roof that's in good shape, decent shape, even if it's, you know, 20, 25 years old, that $10,000 probably will cover that cost of having your roof replaced. So to see if you qualify, you can go to www.habitattuscaloosa.org. All you have to do is click on Need a Roof, and it walks you through the questionnaire that will determine if you may be qualified, if you probably qualify for this. I would encourage, if you are a homeowner, if you own your home and live there, and you live in Tuscaloosa County, you know, and your house is, say, you know, 2,500 square feet or less, I would encourage you to go straight to the website and to see if you qualify for this program, because it is a seriously good deal. The reason, the State Department of Insurance is the funder of this, and the insurance agents and others, they pay into this fund. And basically what they're trying to do, they're trying to narrow the field of catastrophic damage in some kind of wind or weather event. So a hurricane, a tornado, you know, those kinds of things. These roofs are really built to withstand 135-mile-an-hour winds. And, you know, so if you are on, you know, if there's a Category 5 tornado, it's going to destroy everything. 4, you know, is the same kind. But as you get farther and farther out from the center of the path, they're trying to limit the damage, narrow the field of damage. And so this is, long-term, it's going to help save insurance companies money. And so that's why they don't care how much people make. They don't care what your house looks like. And so but we care. We serve, you know, basically middle-income people, and usually below middle-income people, but we've gotten permission from Habitat International and from our board to go up a little bit, you know, to just kind of average income, middle-income people. We need applicants. We want to replace all 110 roofs that they're giving us this year, but we have to do that between now. We've got about 60 roofs to replace between now and the middle of August. We do this all with contractors who are certified for fortified roofs, but please go and apply now, because we need applicants and we need them now. We hope that this will be renewed. And so even if someone applied and let's say we'd used up all those 110 roofs, we hope that we will be awarded another grant again, beginning in, say, November. And so we would just go straight to those people who had applied and we hadn't gotten to, you know, when we ran out of money in August or September, and then start right back up in November with those same people. So please encourage your friends and your loved ones and your neighbors and anybody you think might need a roof and who owns their home to apply for this. I think that is all that, I think I stopped sharing my screen. Okay, good. I think that's all I have to say. That's a whole lot of information. And so now I'll be happy to take any questions that you may have.
Ellen, there is a a question in the chat. Anna,
Oh.
do you want to address this?
Hang on just a second. Let's see. The city's been condemning and raising a fair number of houses. Are these lots being bought from the city? Often what happens is that the city will basically raise a house and they don't get possession of that lot immediately. That is a lien that is placed on the lot. But when the city takes possession of those, they will give those lots to us. What we have found sometimes is that some of those lots are not lots that we want. They're 25 feet wide. They're not, not big enough, or the soil is crummy, or, something. It's not necessarily, we don't necessarily want to take every piece of property that is offered to us. I have learned. We've got some property that we still own that's on a slope about like that. I'm not accepting all property, but anytime that the city has property that, is property that we would be interested in, they are happy to give it to us. We've been in conversation with them about the property that they've purchased in University Manor, where they're, knocking down old, rundown, condemned apartment complexes. And we also, sometimes what will happen is, the city will condemn something and we'll go approach the homeowner and say, hey, they're going to knock down this house and they're going to charge you about, $10,000, $15,000, but you could just sell it to us for, 6 or 7, and you get the $6,000 or $7,000 out of it instead of having a lien for, 10,000. And, a lot of times we'll just purchase that for the value of the property, which normally the lots we buy are $5,000 or $6,000. And our wonderful friends at Maccabee Construction, anytime we need a house knocked down or a structure knocked down, they will knock it down and haul it away for free. And that's huge, because that would cost us $6,000, $8,000, $9,000 per structure. And so we're very grateful to them for that.
Thank you.
What other questions? Hey, Carol.
Ellen, a neighbor of mine, I was telling all the accomplishments when the newspaper article came out and how the property values had improved, particularly on Juanita Drive. And we were wondering if there's a tipping point at which the increased property value disenfranchises some of the homeowners. Is that not happening? And if so, can you give a little more information about that to give people confidence?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. And the tipping point hasn't happened. It's interesting that the houses, we sell homes for the appraised value. So if it appraises for $125,000, we sell it for $125,000. We have been fortunate that we've been able to get $15,000 to $25,000 worth of down payment assistance for nearly all our homeowners. And the house payment is usually $500 or less. There are very few, maybe some of our 4-bedroom homeowners that have a home that the mortgage payment is above $500, but it's not much above. And I think rent for a 2-bedroom apartment now is somewhere in the neighborhood of $800, $900. That's the average. And then 3-bedroom, it's about $1,300. So we have not reached that point. If we always make sure that a home is affordable for the person. So for instance, we built a home in Northport for a Navy veteran who she is living off of disability. And the home value was a good bit higher than we figured it would be. So what we did is we sold the house to her for the full amount of, I think it was $110,000. We got whatever down payment assistance, we took that off the top. And then, she could afford this much. We basically did this much as a forgivable mortgage. And so let's say that she could afford $65,000 and we, had $80,000 worth of mortgage left after the down payment assistance, we would basically say over 30 years, that mortgage would fall off at whatever it is, $15,000 over 30 years, $500 a year. And to protect against, basically being able to make money off of that. But, if she sold it, but we also have mortgage covenants that basically keep people from flipping a house because, if you've got $25,000 worth of down payment assistance, let's say that, that falls off over 3 years, it's 3 years out, man, you've got what, $35,000 worth of equity, then your home's gone up in value. You could flip that, get, $45,000. For the first 15 years, Habitat homeowners have to ask us permission to sell the home. And we've given permission on occasion. We have somebody who, had a family member who died and left them a life insurance policy. And then they had their family had grown. They needed a larger house. So, that's great. They sold the Habitat house. They offer it to us first. We could have bought it back for at fair market value. We chose not to do that in that case. But we don't have people wanting to flip their houses. I mean, people always ask me about that, but they've put so many hours of blood, sweat, and tears into that sweat equity that they want to live in that house and die of old age, basically, in that house. Let's see. Denise, I love you. Thank you for reminding me of this question. Where is the Habitat store located and what types of things would you like donated to the store? I can't believe I forgot to mention the Restore, but I did. So thank you, Denise. So the Restore just moved. We are located, if you know where Flowers Bakery is on 15th Street, we are directly behind Flowers Bakery. We're beside T-Town Cafe, down from Oz Music, or right beside Oz Music, down from Mr. Chin's. And so it's 504 14th Street is the actual address in Parkview Center. And we're very, very excited because as of April 1st, we moved into that new space. It's more than double the size of our previous space. And we're able to have a lot more wonderful things in the store. We're carrying a lot more new things, paint and vinyl plank flooring and some other things. But we do a lot, we need donations. So basically we take gently used furniture, building materials, some housewares, appliances, the house or the couch that is all stained and was your grandmother's from 1968. Just put it out by the road, we don't want that because it won't sell. We need things that will sell. But the things that are in good shape, things that are not, the Herculon from 1974, that kind of thing. We need those kinds of things. If you are a DIY person, this is like your happy place because you can find anything in the Habitat Restore. You never know what you're going to find. We had some Hinkle Harris furniture that was donated, one time because some lady, passed away and her family had an estate sale, and what didn't sell, well, we got all this gorgeous Hinkle Harris furniture and Duncan and Fife sofas and, things like that. But you never know. I just donated my sectional couch to the Restore. But we would love to have you shop. Every dime of profit, anything that doesn't, basically utilities, staff costs, and the rent. Anything over and above that goes directly toward building and repairing new homes and repairing existing homes. Okay, well, here's a question from Laura Gregory. Will all the new houses be in one area? If so, does this create a habitat neighborhood? Let me go back to, let me see if I can share my screen one more time, because that is a great question. So you can see that the green lots are ours. So there are 26 of those that are contiguous. And then there are some that are kind of infill lots that you can see up to the far upper left-hand corner. And then some that are kind of down going toward the McDonald Hughes Center. But then there are those 26 that are contiguous. Those are going to be, we're going to build those a little bit later in the process because they need streets and curb and gutter and water and sewer and those kinds of things. So we need some infrastructure on those, but on all the infill lots, they already have infrastructure. And so we're not going to stop building. We've got a good many, probably 14, 17, including the 3 that just got donated, 17 lots to build on before we get to those 26 contiguous lots that need infrastructure. So this is not, I guess, kind of a classic habitat neighborhood, although those 26 lots would be. But, you know, we really hope that, you know, there's other property that we've been in conversation with the owners about in this area. And so we're really hoping that we can transform this area, because really, you know, when you think about it, if you're a business, if you're a grocery store, so this is basically a food desert down here. If you think about 40 new homes and then other homes, and then we're doing roofs and other things for existing homes, all of a sudden that makes this a much more attractive place to live and to locate your business. And so let me see if I can exit that. But it makes it a much more attractive place to locate a business, to put a store, to put a grocery store, you know, to put a Family Dollar or, you know, some other kind of store other than a convenience store, a liquor store, a tattoo parlor, or a payday loan place. And so that's one of the things that I'm most excited about. That's kind of number 3. I'm excited for my homeowners, our homeowners. I'm excited for the job trainees from TCTA and the Dannon Project. But then number 3, I'm excited for that area of town that we really hope will be revitalized by this, by all of these new homes that are coming soon to a vacant lot near them. What other questions?
Any other questions for Ellen?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Does Habitat for Humanity, do they own the mortgage on all the homes that they build?
Mostly the answer is yes. So all of the homes that we build, we are the mortgage holder. We have investigated the possibility of building some homes, say in Brookwood or another rural area, where we could fund those homes with very, very low interest USDA loans. I know a lot of rural Habitat affiliates do that. Right now, basically the model is I raise, you know, or we raise $100 and some odd thousand to build the house. We build the house, then we sell it to the homeowner for a 0 interest 30-year mortgage at fair market value. We get that, you know, $125,000 or whatever it is back at 0 interest over 30 years. So you can tell we're not making a killing off of anyone. And then, that provides an income stream, but still, with time value of money, that 100 and some odd thousand that we spent on the home will come back to us at a value of maybe 30,000 or something, just because, the times out value of money. But we have investigated the possibility of basically nearly serving as a contractor for homeowners that would be in a rural area, that we would fund the house through a USDA loan. So it would nearly be like a contractor that you would pay on a draw. And one of the reasons we would do that is just because, and this is, I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but we have a unique problem with affordable housing in Tuscaloosa. So you think about, since I moved here, the university has close to doubled in size, from around 20,000 to about not quite 40,000. You have the accompanying growth in faculty and staff positions. Then you have Mercedes, moved in 1997, same year we moved in, or maybe 1998. And then all of the different suppliers. So there's been a huge growth in manufacturing. Well, then here's the real kicker. This is what, in a space of 20 minutes, the tornado moved us from basically an affordable housing shortage to an affordable housing crisis, because what it did was 71% of the homes that were destroyed, whether they were rental homes, apartments, they were owner occupied, whatever kind of home, but the per capita income of 71% of those homeowners, or excuse me, of those individuals, was $25,000 a year or less. 71%. So it just disproportionately destroyed affordable housing. And you and I both know what's built back is student housing, luxury student housing, which doesn't do a family any good. And we love our students and we're glad they're here, but that doesn't help if you're, a single mother trying to survive off of, $1,500 a month.
Right.
Let's see, can your trainees be hired by other homeowners? Hey, Kiki, in terms of like to do repairs and things like that?
Yes, as an additional way to get training, and at the same time, in other words, can the community also be part of their training?
I had never thought about that, but that's a cool idea. There are so many, that's a cool idea. There are so many people who, need a handyman to just come in.
Oh,
and
I am one of them.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, my biggest problem is finding a handyman.
Yes, everybody's biggest problem is finding a handyman. So, that is a cool idea. And, maybe for some, especially the carpentry students and things, let's say that they decide not to go into carpentry, but they go into, they go to the university and they're a student. Maybe we can have them available for hire, just to do kind of standard jobs for people. It is a great way to make some extra money.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's what I was thinking. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Cool
Ellen.
idea. Thank you.
Lovely to see you
Good
again.
to see you, Kiki.
Catherine Davies.
Hello, Ellen. I saw the article about you in the Tuscaloosa News, and I'm so thrilled to hear you talk about the wonderful things that you're doing. So thank you for enlightening me. And I was thinking that I first heard about Habitat when Jimmy Carter and Rosalind Carter were involved with it. And I'm wondering what drew you to this yourself?
So thank you very much for your kind words. And let me just say that my job is easy because I have such a fabulous staff that they do all the heavy lifting, literally and figuratively. And I just kind of smile and wave in front of the camera. So thank you. I take the credit on behalf of my staff because they are the most amazing people. If you have no jobs, no construction skills whatsoever, they will have you using power tools like a pro, you know, by the end of the day. And we love volunteers. We're finally back to having volunteers. So our office staff, our resource staff, our construction staff, I can't say enough good things about them. The way that I got involved, and I'll just say, a lot of people think that Jimmy Carter founded Habitat. He didn't, but he put it on the map. Millard Fuller, who was a University of Alabama law student, married a girl from Tuscaloosa, who lived in Alberta, grew up in Alberta. Millard Fuller founded Habitat International, and then a law school classmate of Millard's founded Habitat Tuscaloosa in 1987. His name was Hank Huckabee, and I believe that he was a professor at the university. And so that's kind of how Habitat got started. Jimmy Carter knew about Habitat. It was right after it was founded, because it was founded in Americus, Georgia, at the Koinonia Farm, which is still there. And that's right next Plains. And so that's how he knew about it, and he kind of put it on the map. President Carter and his wife still volunteer on job sites, but they don't let him climb on roofs anymore. But he still volunteers, and so does Miss Rosalind. So, but how did I get involved in Habitat? So I believe that when we moved to Tuscaloosa, we moved across the street from Sally and Buzz Barton. And I think the way that I got involved was that Sally saw me outside my house, and she said, you know, I'm on the Habitat Homeowner Selection Committee. Would you like to be on the committee? And I didn't know anybody in Tuscaloosa. And I thought, well, that'd be cool. I'll do that. Because I knew my daddy, my church that I grew up in, Covenant Presbyterian in Huntsville, built tons of Habitat houses, and my daddy worked on them for years. And so I thought, no, that's something I could do. So I'm embarrassed to say that from 1987 to 2013, I was on Family Selection Committee and never darkened the grass of a job site. So never went to a dedication, met all of the homeowners to begin with, but only started working with on the job sites and things like that once I became executive director. We have a wonderful group of people called our Hometown Heroes that are our regular weekly volunteers. Some of them volunteer once a week, some twice a week. Most of them, pretty much all of them, are retired, and so sometimes they're out of town. So, we allow for that kind of thing, but our Hometown Heroes volunteer with us regularly. Most of them started out with no skills whatsoever. You can have lots of skills, you can have no skills. We love volunteers, women, men. If you don't like to climb on a roof, we don't make you climb on a roof. But it's a cool thing to do, and you can come try us out. I would say wait till the fall, unless you really love hot weather, because it's about to be hot. But really would love to have you volunteer with us, and also, serve on committees, things like that. Okay, Deborah Fisher says, Selma could really use your help with this wonderful skills training, improve neighbors, and bring business in, as well as a lot of people in Selma need a better place to live. This program is a true blessing on so many levels. We're so excited about this, and I wish that we could cover Selma too. I think they had a Habitat affiliate, maybe that has closed or is in the process of closing right now. I'm sure there's great need everywhere in the state of Alabama, and most everywhere in the country. We have about as much as we can say grace over in Tuscaloosa County. We have gone to Pickens County a couple of times after a tornado. We built the tornado in Saps in 2016. We built one house that was a Habitat house, and we built another house with High Socks for Hope. We may go build a house for a veteran in Hale County.
and we're excited about being able to do that. But mainly we try to stick to Tuscaloosa County. We're doing the roof program in Tuscaloosa and Pickens, but that's with contractors. So Selma's a little farther afield than we need to go, and that breaks my heart for Selma, but for Pickens County, Hale County, Bibb County, it just, there's so much overwhelming need. That we would love to, make this kind of partnership the norm for Habitat affiliates, so that perhaps, maybe they can fund their homes with USDA loans and use the local trade school to help build the homes. We're hoping to do this on a broader basis, but we're just now getting started as of May 3rd. And so we're excited about that. But absolutely, there's way too much need to even think about, get your mind around.
Any other comments or questions for Ellen? Then Ellen, let me speak for all, and you can all clap and put little emojis up there. Thank you so much. This was so informative and so helpful. And I think you've got a dedicated crew here who thinks you're doing a great job, and who knows who you might see in your office sometime soon.
Well, please, all of you who are homeowners, go and go through the questionnaire, habitattuscaloosa.org. And then also, if you want to donate to the Restore, shop at the Restore. I'm going to put the address for the Restore right here. That's basically, it's.
Got it. Great. All righty. Well, thank you again. And thank you also. Oh, Catherine, do you have a comment? Oh, you're just waving. Okay. Thank you not only for tonight's presentation, but for your patience with our Comcast problem last month. And we are so glad that we were able to do this later rather than not at all. So thank you. And thanks everybody. And we'll see you on 5th Tuesday, if not before. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ellen.
Hi, thank you.